Angus Young, how you doing?
Good, Becko.
The Offspring.
How's it going, Becko?
Dave Grohl, how you going, mate?
Good, man.
Pete, it's been a long time coming.
Oh, Becko, hasn't it indeed?
We go inside the dressing room, speak to the biggest names in music,
Keith Richards, the Rolling Stones.
and crack open their esky.
This is exactly how I imagine you, by the way, sitting opposite me with a vodka and orange.
You're a discerning chap.
This is The Rider.
Hey, it's Becko. Welcome back to The Rider. And this week, this incredible band from Byron Bay, they've got a massive future ahead of them. This is The Buckleys. Already an incredible list of songs to name. Fast forward to 2025. The Buckleys are going to be touring right around the country. Check out their dates on their socials, and we have the entire Buckley family here with me right now. Hello, Buckleys.
We're going really good. How are you, Becko?
I'm doing all right. We managed to get everyone on the call, which is insane. So we've got Sarah and Molly, Dylan and Lockie.
How you going?
We got everyone, which is insane. Okay, so I sort of first came across you guys in 2019, just after New Year's Eve in Byron Bay. I met Chris Murphy, sat me down and played you this demo of your early stuff, which would have been, is it Gimme Money and Breathe, I think it was, those first two songs?
Yeah, well, we had met Chris. The first song that we released was Daydream. That was our first single we put out through Petrol Records. And then Money came after that right at the beginning of 2020. And then the rest of the album followed. But we had actually released a few other songs independently in our early family band stages. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I was trying to work out how long we've been going now, and it's getting on nearly, I think 13 years, and we've been releasing music for that long. But yeah, everything kind of changed, and yeah, when we met Chris, it was just the stars aligned, and that was the really beginning of our new chapter as a professional kind of band putting out the release that were really representative of us.
Well, that's what I assumed. I assumed that before you got signed, you would have had other releases. You would have been working really hard and plenty of touring and busking and whatever. Tell me about the early years. So your dad was in a band, right? And he still is. He still plays. He was in the Radiators. That's insane.
Yeah, the Rads back in the 80s. He played drums for them all throughout the 80s, and we didn't really know much about the Radiators growing up.
Very under wraps.
They were a bit naughty, so we didn't really like to tell people. But then eventually we found out.
And I got early marks sometimes from detention because my teacher would be like, "Oh, your dad was in the Rads, you can go." And I didn't know what the Rads were, and Dad never talked about them, and I was like, "Why?" I don't even know what they're talking about. I just knew I was just like, oh, they must have been a good band. And then when I was finishing high school, I'm like, I should probably look this up. And I looked it up. I'm like, oh, now I get it.
But I'm surprised you didn't have sort of people dropping in over the years. It's like, oh, wow, wait, I can't believe Mark Gable from the Choir Boys or Jimmy Barnes or Diesel. I can imagine it would have been an interesting childhood with other musicians as well popping over, I guess.
When we were learning, my guitar teacher, and all of our guitar teacher, actually, he taught all of us, I think, was a guy called James T, who played in the band called Canned Heat, and Canned Heat played at Woodstock. They're famous for "I'm going out the country, baby, where I go."
Oh,
so he taught me guitar and the blues. So yeah, things like that are pretty amazing to look back on, and just to see kind of the roots of where our music started and grew, and where we learned our chops. It was very cool to have those people around.
And what sort of music was played around the household?
Literally everything. Mum would put on Ricky Lee Jones, Dad would chuck on, rockabilly, swing, southern rock. Our first gig ever was actually a rockabilly festival, which when it was in Coffs Harbour.
Wow.
Yeah, when it was in Coffs, that was Sarah, and it was Dad, Sarah, and I in a band called You've Got Buckleys.
Sound like a disease, so we
That's right.
I'm really sorry. You've
Yeah.
got Buckley.
Yeah. But so we literally had every single genre. Like Dad sung in a big band. What are they? 15-piece swing band before. Like, so we grew up with literally every style except from the doof parties. That's the one thing that Dad said we couldn't do. I got to get the kids out to Tamworth Country Music Festival, and get them away from these doof parties. And so then we started going to the Tamworth Country Music Festival every year, and that's how we really started as a band when, like, I would have been about 8 years old and everyone else followed up. But yeah, it was pretty much every genre.
A lot of great artists go to Tamworth and they're busking there on the street, and they go on to massive things, and it happens organically. And now that you got social media as well, it just adds to it. You got 4 nominations for Tamworth, is that right?
Are we like 4 or 5 time losers?
It's 4 nominations. It's not 4 time losers.
Yeah, Tamworth is just has such a special place in our hearts. Like we grew up going to the Tamworth Country Music Festival. The first time I ever went was a year before the band went as the Buckleys. Like a year before we kind of started as the Buckleys, and I went just like, I just had started playing guitar and playing piano, and Dad was like, "Gotta get Sarah to Tamworth," and so I went with my older brother actually, and I went in all the talent competitions which they have up there, and it was such a like eye-opening experience just to get out of like, I don't know, when you're a young kid, like I must have been in year 5 going into year 6 at the time, and so all you really know is that little world. It just kind of opened my eyes up to like this big world out there of music and people who play real instruments and songwriting and kind of like call it the bug. And then we went back the next year, had started as the Buckleys, went back the next year, I think it was 2012, and then busked, and then ended up coming top 5 in the busking finals, and it all just kind of snowballed from there. But it really like comes down to, I think, Tamworth Country Music Festival started so much for us, and like every year we go back just to catch up with all our friends, and it's just such a family.
We'd like a big reunion, everyone touching down there and going to the big awards nights and whatever. What was it like going to Nashville for the first time? Because that is, I guess, the pinnacle for anyone in that genre.
Yeah, well, me and Molly had started saving up to go to Nashville.
Put all the money we bussed for in Tamworth into the Nashville funds and the petrol money to get home. Sorry, Sarah, but we were saving up for a long time. The goal was to get to Nashville by the time I was 16 years old, and so we eventually made it. Then, which was 2016, I think, and huge. We ended up in writing rooms, like. It was really one of those things. We didn't know anyone in Nashville, and we played called all these venues we could. We did the classic door knocking up and down Music Row, handing in our CDs to just random record labels and publishers. We didn't know what no solicitors meant. Yeah, I think it all just said no solicitors. Anyway, and so we're like, God, I don't know what that means. And so I was like, do you know what that means? I'm like, I don't know what that means. And so we just walk up and knock on all the doors. Oopsie.
Yeah, but we played one little show with 4 people in the room, and one of them happened to be the booker for the Bluebird Cafe, and so then we got to perform at the Bluebird Cafe that year. And then another little gig we played at a place called Douglas Corner. The band booker there, she loved what we did, and she ended up getting us into the room with all of these incredible songwriters that we wrote with, like the guy who wrote Fishing in the Duff, I Need to Go Dirt Band. All of these amazing. I think a guy that wrote a bunch of Willie Nelson songs. It was just crazy.
Yeah, and how much they really embraced us and took us under out their wings. And there was no tall poppy stuff. It was really a place that's community driven, and they all really wanted everyone to succeed. Because we were so young. They really, Debbie, she really didn't have to do anything, but she really, put us in rooms with incredible writers. And so, it was pretty special.
And over to the boys now. So Dylan and Lachlan, you guys are somewhere in the wilderness. Lockie is, I don't know where you are. You've just been...
mate, 3 hours from the nearest town.
So what's it like being in a family band, you got the girls who probably get all the attention. So what's it like being the two boys in the band?
I'm pretty happy just to be a pretty face.
So Dylan, you're the youngest, right?
Yes, sir.
What was the first instrument you learned, growing up in his family?
It actually used to be guitar back when Lachlan was on the bass. And I was learning that for probably a year or two. And then Lachlan started playing guitar. In about 3 weeks, he was so much better than me. So I gave up, started playing drums like that.
That's unfortunate when the older siblings sort of get dibs on a certain instrument.
Nah, I like the drums better though. They're cool.
Yeah. What was the moment where you thought, okay, I think we can make a thing of this?
I would say the moment was at Tamworth in 2013, 2014, something like that. And we were busking on the street, and we actually became top 10 in the busking competition. That entered us into the main stage at Tamworth Country Music Festival to play in front of about 2,000 people. We were totally not expecting that at all. We were very young, very under-practiced, but we did it anyway, and it was awesome, and that was kind of the make-or-break moment.
I mean, Mundi Mundi Bash would have been pretty exciting. I mean, you guys did the Big Red Bash as well, I think.
Oh, mate, it was awesome. That was like being in the movie of Mad Max, only you were entertaining everyone.
Mundi Mundi was amazing. It was truly like one of so one of the most special festivals we've played, just in terms of like the energy there. Like really feels like, and you're on like in another world. It's just like red dirt everywhere and nothing from miles and miles away that you can see except this one big rock concert that you're in. It's like pretty magical. It's like almost spiritual, I feel like. Just being out there, and then and then going into the Broken Hill, the town is awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to do that one again, hopefully.
It was a really nice atmosphere backstage and in the catering room as well, because everyone's just kind of hanging out.
Yeah, exactly. No, 100%. That backstage area actually really stuck with me. It was probably one of my favorites I've seen, because it was really, everyone was talking to each other. Everyone was like in really mingling, and there was a campfire. It was actually a really, really fun festival. And you got a chance to actually chat with all the other artists, which was nice.
What's next? So you're going back into the studio pretty soon? Is there plans for that? Now, two of you relocated to Sydney?
Yeah, me and Molly are in Sydney now. We have a few songs already recorded and ready to go. We're just kind of finalising like things like artwork and visuals and all that jazz. But yeah, we released like the first single, which was kind of initiating, I guess, the new chapter for us and welcoming Dylan into the band officially off band probation.
Congratulations.
I don't know if that's a good idea to let him off band probation.
We're now independent as a band, and so it's really new structure for us. We're all doing new jobs we wouldn't have had to do before, so I don't know, it's a whole different experience than what our previous releases have been, and we're really excited to see where all our next projects go, and we're recording them up down in Melbourne with Kingswood, and that's just an incredible collaborative experience.
I saw, I think you posted a few photos, or maybe they did, where I think you might have been in the studio with them, and I was like, oh, that's cool, because they're great guys. I seen them so many times over the years. And who leads the songwriting duties, by the way? Is it do you all contribute, or Sarah, do you go in and lead and see where it goes?
Yeah, I write most of the songs.
She likes to write them about our experiences. like see you folks again. Really fun.
Yeah.
Really fun to offload your dirty laundry to your sister, and then it's all in your next single.
Seems like you have a reoccurring theme, Molly, of bad relationships.
Don't throw stones from a glass house, Lucky.
There's a song I wrote with Melanie Dyer and Caitlin Shadbolt and Semi White, and we were all on this like little girls riding trip, And I was like, oh yeah, Lockie, I wrote this like idea from a conversation I had with Lockie a while ago. He was like, after he broke up with his girlfriend, he's like, oh, country music never made more sense after a breakup. And I was like, that's such a good idea for a song. And we ended up writing it all together. And there was a few quite personal lines and details in it that I also included from the conversation with Lachlan. I won't reveal what they were, but you can listen to the song. And we ended up releasing it as like a 4-way collab. Yeah, me, Caitlin, Sammy, and Mel. So that was a lot of fun. So yeah, they're great. They give me lots of good stories to write about.
And now I get to hear the song all the time, which brings up great memories.
I've often wondered about that though, because like the poet needs a pain. So there are some sad songs that often become the artist's biggest release. Okay, Birds of Tokyo is an example. The lead singer wrote about a breakup, and he then had to go and sing it solid because it was their biggest release for the next, probably 6 months at least. That's got to be the one negative about being in a band.
Kind of crazy, but it's also really beautiful, I think. I think there's something really special about like, it's like a time stamp almost, like a time capsule. And then it takes you right back to wherever the place was that you first wrote it and like the same emotions. And yeah, I think it's a really kind of special thing. To be able to, kind of put those feelings.
Yeah, and at some point, it doesn't really become about you anymore because you hear so many people come up and share their own stories and how they've, how the song reflects their life, and it kind of gives it a whole new meaning.
Yeah, Lockie, you're fine. Hope it goes number 1.
Those lines are pretty specific.
So you've done Bluesfest a couple times now, is that right?
So we did Bluesfest. Our very first time we did Bluesfest was actually for the busking competition. It was me solo for the busking competition, and the next year we did it at the Buckleys for the busking comp, and then we got our own show there, like properly on the lineup as the Buckleys. 2 years ago now. And so we've done that once. So yeah, I mean, God, we'd love to play Bluesfest again. That's like, such a special festival. And we're near where we grew up as well. That was honestly like one of my favorite gigs I've ever done was that show. It was just so special. And like the feeling in the tent, we weren't really expecting anyone to really come because it was pretty early. It was like 1:00 or something on the Saturday, I think. And, we didn't have high expectations. We were like, oh, it's just great to be playing blues. But the tent was like, it was pretty packed in the tent. And we was just like, the feeling was just like such an accomplishment to be able to play there. And then just this like homely feeling at the same time, whilst also this huge feeling of being on the same stage. I saw like Santana play the year before. So that was just like wild. And one of my favorite gigs I've ever played. And
I lived up at Northern Rivers for a little while as well, and I sort of know all the beautiful little townships, in the hinterland up from Byron through to Lismore, and my favourite pub, it was the Eltham. I know it's not far from where you guys grew up. Well, what was your favourite pub to play live in the whole Northern Rivers?
Probably the one where Sarah was born, almost born. The Great Northern Hotel.
The Great Northern. That's a great live venue. Yes. In Byron Bay.
My mum went into labour with me on the dance floor at my dad's gig.
That is amazing.
Yeah, thank God it wasn't on that floor because God knows what would have happened.
Well, yes.
I feel like I should get free beers for life or something, to be honest. But
well, you should, absolutely.
If only Mum could have stuck it out and gave birth on that floor.
It's good that you guys have got a connection all through that area. It's a beautiful area. If I could afford it, I'll be up there right now. Drinking with your dad at the dueling piano show, which you guys regularly get involved with, I'm assuming, when you go home.
The funnest time, Dad's dueling piano show. Me and Molly often jump up. Sometimes Lockie Lockie was jumping up and playing guitar as well. We'd do like Johnny Be Good, all of us with Dad, and it's like
Home Alabama as well.
Yeah.
Goes off.
Now tell me, what is in the rider? So when you first started busking in Tamworth, was it a couple of juice boxes and an ice cream, and now you got full-blown bourbon and Bundy or something? Or
Well, when we first started, we were like, this is gonna sound like I'm really like trying to make us sound good, but genuinely we probably like didn't want to ask anyone to do that for us. We probably would have been too nice. Like we were like, we don't need anything. Like it's fine.
Yeah, that's what we did. I remember we played a festival in Cairns. This was like after Daydream, the first song had come out, and the first time anyone was like, "What's on your rider?" Like, 'cause we didn't really have a reason to have a rider up until then. And we were like, I was like to our manager, like, oh, just say waters, like we don't need anything. And then we got there, and then like the festival booker was like, yeah, you guys just said you needed waters. Like we're like shamed for it. We're like, oh shit.
Yeah, like, never again. We get 2 cases, 2 whiskeys, champagne. M&Ms.
But look, that's the thing. I'm assuming Nashville, you might be able to negotiate a bit more if you're doing a big gig over there.
Yeah. No, there's some good. Yeah, we've had some good. Actually, you know what I love is when we're playing festivals like that. Put in like local jerky, like beef jerky, or like local jams. Like I love it when festivals do that. That's really cool.
CMC Rocks is really good at that. They personalize all merch for their artists and put it in your dressing room, so it's like a rider. You know, we don't ask for it though, but it's really cool.
Well, look, it's so good, Buckleys. I've got them all. Let's say goodbye one by one. Goodbye, Sarah.
Goodbye.
Bye, Molly.
Goodbye.
Bye, Lockie.
Goodbye.
Bye, Dylan.
Bye-bye.
Who's now officially in the band.
Thanks
for having us.
Becko.
Thank you.
And go to the Buckleys social media to keep track of all the gigs coming up. There's a few up in Queensland, and there'll be many more announced before the end of the year. And you're going to be massive right across the world, I reckon. So great to see you guys again. Take care.
See you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Well, I think that was quite an achievement to get the whole family on there. There we go. That is the Buckleys. Check them out at Bangalow. They're playing the Bangalow Bolo in August, and also the Gympie Muster, August 31. And plenty of new music coming out as well. Next week on the Rider, well, they're back together again for the first time in 50 years. Alice Cooper and his original band. The album is out, and next week, We're Not Worthy. We catch up with Alice Cooper next week on The Rider. Catch you there.